Hi everyone, Diane here. Welcome to my studio. Hope everyone's well. Today is Giveaway Thursday, which we're doing every fortnight throughout the summer. And today we are giving away a set of Viviva watercolor paints, which is this really cool set of, well, I don't need to get that one out. I can show you this one. Of very bright, very vibrant, lovely paints, which is in, I know this is looking a bit tatty, but yours is brand new, the one that you're going to win, or perhaps you might want to buy one. Nice, I'll get it out and show you a new one, shall I? Let's just see. It's made of cork, recycled cork, which is done from old wine bottle corks, apparently, in India. This is made by a group of people who live in India, and the women who put these things together are apparently our local ladies who work in a kind of cooperative manner. I don't know exactly all the details, but I do know that much anyway. And so they get these corks from old wine bottles and they must mulch them up and make them into these pans. And so it's very, very light. So if you are looking for something to take with you when you're traveling and you don't want to carry too much weight, be ideal. And you've got a good range of colors here. This one that I'm giving away is the spring set, and so it has these colors. It's got a few pastels and slightly different range of colors from the original set, which is also very nice, which I'm using here. And anyway, so that's the prize for the giveaway. All we have to do to enter for the giveaway is to put a comment in the comment section below the video, and it doesn't matter what you say as long as it's nice. And then there'll be a second prize too, and this is the first prize. Last week we gave, last month, no, not well, it was last month, wasn't it? 2 weeks ago, I gave away a set of Paul Rubens watercolor, the floral set, which is worth about €50, I think, actually about $40 or $50. Anyways, it's a good value set, and I gave that away to a lady called Wendy, and she'll be receiving that soon. Oh yeah, I wanted to say the person who was supposed to win the second prize, which was one of my paintings, has not contacted me, and her name is Jenneke2. That's her handle, Jenneke2. So if you're watching this, please contact me and I will send you one of my paintings as your second prize. Otherwise, I'll give it another week, and if she doesn't get in touch with me, then I'm afraid I'm going to have to pass it on to somebody else. Right, so yes, and then the second prize in this giveaway this week is our new reverse colouring book. We've got, this is the second one. The first one was Art Nouveau flowers, which I think a lot of people have bought and found it really a lot of fun to do. And this one is Summer Flowers, which has got a lovely selection in it of wreaths and bouquets for you to do your thing with, your reverse colouring, which basically is adding line or paint to the backgrounds. And also, of course, if you download this, you can use them as inspiration for your own paintings too. So you've got a wonderful resource here of basically very lightly printed, faded out paintings, all my paintings. They all have videos attached to them somewhere in the collection, and you can refer to those if you want to actually repaint them, or you can just do the reverse colouring thing. So, and that will be the second prize. And it will also be available for purchase if you want to buy it as of today from our website. If you go to dianeantone.com and go to the shop and go to colouring books, you'll find this one there for download. It's not a hard copy. You have to download it and print it out yourself at the moment, although we are trying to get the time to go to Amazon and have them printed so that people could buy them ready printed, but we haven't got around to doing that yet. So that's that. Oh yes, and if you do buy one from our website, if you do buy one of these, then we will give you a coupon for a second colouring book, one of our colouring books that already exists for free. So if you buy one of these, you get a colouring book for free. You just have to use the coupon. So that's that. And let me see, I'm just looking at my notes here to make sure that I haven't forgotten anything. Yeah, so just make a note, make a comment on the video to be in with the chance to win the paint set. I'll put that over there out of the way, keep it nice and clean. And let's carry on with the painting for today. I did ask on YouTube, on the posts, which used to be called community, but now is called post, I don't know, whatever. I did ask whether people would prefer today's video to be a pot plant, something along the lines of, what was it that I did? It wasn't that, because I did that last night. It was that one, I think. Something along the lines of this, or daisies, or another relaxing abstract. And a lot of people went for these two, but probably the majority went for that one. So this is the one I'm going to do today. I'm going to do some pot plants. Potted plants, not pot plants, not plants of pot, pots of plant. But we will do these as well, especially the daisies. We've done this before, but these, the reason why I did the three, and I said, which would you prefer to see? And then I thought, oh, well, I could do all three of them in one video, but then I thought, no, it'll probably be too long if I do that. So it would be better to just do one of them. And I'm going to do it a bit bigger. I'm going to do it on this size paper. What was I going to say? We will do this one. I really like that. That is done with an interesting technique where I put in some very loose colour for the white daisy petals, and then I went in with pencil, graphite pencil, not coloured pencil, but graphite pencil, and did the shadow with that. And then after that, I did the leaves and so on and so forth. And I think it actually came out quite nice. It would look probably better with the background, but anyway, so that was that idea. This one we, as I said, have done before. Oh yeah, and that was what I was going to say. That I did three of these and I thought, well, how different they are, you know, in terms of the colours and the styles and everything. But they were all done with the Viviva set, with the Viviva colours. So you can do anything really. That was what I was trying to say. You can do anything with these paints. You don't need to think that they can only paint like this. But today, that's how they're going to paint. Excuse me. Okay, so to go to the pot plant thing, I've got, three options here, three different styles, if you like. This one, I did that last night just before I went to bed. And I was quite interested in the way this turned out because I just used burnt sienna and burnt umber, I think, isn't it? One thing that I don't like about this is that it loses its will to live because it doesn't have any names. There should be names printed here, I think. I don't think it's sensible to use this for mixing on, although you can. It's slightly plasticized, but it should have the names written on here. So I should probably do that. That would help me, wouldn't it, if I did that? That is assuming I could find the names, even though I've lost the piece of paper. So anyway, I'm rambling again. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? Oh, yes, this one. I want to talk about this one. Burnt umber and burnt sienna for the pots, just two colours. But this was interesting because I just put some little blobs of purple in there, just this mauve here. And then I did the leaves with a brush pen, one of these Poetique brush pens. And I found that worked, and I was able to put some sort of fine frondy kind of leaves in there, which I couldn't do with a brush because it all just ran. But because these are different, there's not so much water in them, is there? You know, they're a much drier thing. And you can wet them, so they flow better. But this is a really handy way of just kind of working between your blobs of colour to do your, it worked. It really did. It did work. I thought that was quite interesting. So then the other two are not particularly fascinating. Then this one, I did some line work on the pots just to make them a little bit more interesting. And also on the leaves, I just used the this thing here, the Artex acrylic markers, which I've been using quite a lot lately because they do show up really nicely. Not too dazzlingly white, but kind of nicely white, if you know what I mean. Just gives a sort of hint of lightness. So I think that's actually quite a good pen to have, that one. And then this one, this was done with the Artex pens as well. I was trying out the different colors and seeing how they work. How different that is from the Lightwish ones, which give you a very broad stroke effect. It's like painting with ice cream, which I really like. But the Artex ones are more narrow, if you know what I mean. They have a kind of like that, whereas these are more broad. But this was a good experiment in just trying out colours and thinking of designs and stuff like that, just quickly getting some colour down onto the paper. So I've got 3 different sizes there. I don't know which one you like the best, but yeah, you can take screenshots of whichever interests you and you can copy those if you want to, or you can paint along with me as I do another one. Now, I've already swatched out these colours onto here because I always forget what's what, especially down this end of the palette where you can't tell whether it's blue or green very easily, especially if you're painting at night when the light's not very good. So here we have basically something that looks a lot like dioxazine mauve. Then we've got a kind of phthalo blue, then we've got a kind of sap green, and we've got a lime green. This, I believe, is burnt sienna. This is a kind of lemon yellow. Then we've got cadmium orange and a sort of scarlet colour. And this one here is a little bit like alizarin crimson. That's another orange. It's not very different from that one, but it's a little bit duller. This looks like yellow ochre. This is a dark brown. Then we've got emerald green, and then we've got what looks like cerulean blue, and then another one that looks like phthalo blue, but I think this one might be meant to be ultramarine. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it doesn't really matter too much. As long as I can see what they are, then I can paint with them. Probably a good idea to wet them a little bit first of all, if I can find a spray bottle to give them a bit of a wake-up call. So we'll just do that. They don't really need it. They're pretty good at waking up when they're asked to. I've also got this is a MEEDEN palette here, a mixing plate basically. You could use any white plate for that, but this one happens to be from MEEDEN. Oh yes, and this is something else. MEEDEN have got a special thing going on soon, actually in August for the back to school event. They've got a back to school event going on, and they will be offering now, what was it, an extra 15% off of what you buy if you buy 2 things from them. So that hasn't started yet. Well, I think it might have done actually, come to think of it. We haven't started promoting it yet because they haven't sent us anything yet that we haven't had before. But I just wanted to show you this along with this. This is a rather nice, rather stylish double water container. I tend to use it for keeping pens and pencils in, but it is a nice idea. It looks very nice on your, if you don't put too much paint on it, it looks very nice on your table. It's quite elegant, and I could put water in that and use it. What I tend to use is mason jars. I tend to use these because they're very big and spacious and hold a lot of water. But this I think is nice if you want to go for the elegant look. It's actually quite smart. It's quite nice, and that's not expensive, and it's available on the MEEDEN page. Okay, so cold press watercolor paper from the above people. 100% cotton, not bad quality, actually pretty good quality, good enough for me anyway. I'm just going to have a quick slurp. And what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? Am I going to do it this way with more than one row? What do you think? If I did that, I'd probably need a pencil first to just draw my shelves in so I don't go wonky. Wouldn't want to be a wonky donkey. Let's see if I can find a pencil. So if I put one line there and one line there, that would be plants. That's there's an ant crawling across my page. Can you see that? Or an insect of some sort. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it like that. Would you like to leave? Okay, so the question is, it's always difficult, isn't it, to know, let me just move my notes out of the way, to make a decision on how you're going to do this, because there's so many choices. And I could do nice brown pots like that, and I could do sort of beigey ones like that, or I could do colourful ones like that. But what I thought I would do today is, I would do some kind of colourful ones, but well, we'll see what happens. So I'm just going to draw. Always remember that the line, if you want it to be anything like remotely realistic, just make the top line curve a little bit. It doesn't matter so much about the bottom line, because that's all going to go runny anyway. But the top line really needs to be just a little bit curved. I've probably put this too close to the top, but I am going to do it anyway, like that. And I think this one should probably be a bit lower. You can always alter things as you go along. I'm just looking for an eraser. I think he's too tall too. I'll make a bigger one down below. That's too tall. I'm going to put smaller ones up top here. Change my mind. So we put plant. It's going to go up to about here. So I'm going to do a little one here. And it doesn't matter what shape they are, whatever your pencil wants to do. And then I'm going to get some water. And I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to wet. I'm using a draw well brush here at the moment. And then I'm going to just pick up a few blops of colour and let it mix and mingle. Just different colours. I don't know what that's going to look like, because I haven't done it like this before. I do a lot of wet in wet, and usually it works okay, but you can never be 100% sure. So I'm going to do that one like that, and then I'm going to do this one a bit different. Let us use some green mixed with some raw sienna, and we get a nice olivey green like that. And I'm not fussing about anything at all. I'm not sure I like that. I'm going to just lift that out a little bit. And then let's go for some raw sienna, like that. And what about some nice dark. And just lift out a little bit of light on one side of each of them. And then we'll come back in with some darker shadow on the side and just drop it in and let it blend like that. And this one, it wants to be purpley, so put some purple with that, and then we just drop that in down the bottom. You can do kind of dup, 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 rather than, and sometimes that looks a bit better. Don't worry about it looking weird. It will probably smooth itself out. It's probably best to let it do its thing. And then this one, we want something slightly darker, a reddish brown on the side here. And then make that darker again. And we'll see how that goes. And we just put a little bit of kind of a hint of the back of the pot. So now we need to do the plants. And let's mix up some green. And let's put, what should we do? I like doing these lovely long fat pointed leaves like this, just because I like the way they look, I suppose. Something like that. And you can let the colours all blend in nicely with one another. Let me put a bit of dirt in the pot there. Try not to touch the green too much. And then in this one, I am going to pick up one of my Poetique pens, because this is quite a sort of a little thing. So I'm going to just do some stems like this. And then we'll put the leaves in using a proper brush, shall we? I'll just use a smaller one though than the one I had before. Whoops, I'm dropping everything today. This is where you can just relax and play. Just do whatever comes to mind, really. Okay, and then the next one, I'm going to do some, what am I going to do? What shall I do there? Shall I do some nice big dark leaves in a nice bright what shall I do? It wants to be quite cheerful, doesn't it? This one I could put some lines on later. I don't know, I keep thinking maybe start with yellow. Does this want to be a cactus? Is that why I'm hesitating? Does it actually want to be? Something like that. Why not? And then, oh, it's difficult to know what to do. I can't make my mind up today. So I'm going to put a nice long stem down the middle like that. And we'll go over to one side and to the other side, the other side, and the other side. And then I'm going to try the same trick of lovely lemon yellow underneath. And then we'll just put some green in the middle. Let that blur. Put a bit of dirt, do a little bit of dry brush kind of thing in there a little bit. And then take the pot round the back a bit. Okay, and then now we go down to the one below. And I'm going to go completely freestyle here. And we're going to go for a nice dark red pot. And then perhaps we'll do purple. And then maybe we'll do blue. And I think then we need green, don't we? There we are. 4 nice pots. Don't forget we're going to go over this with, line work, that's it, yes. Brain not working. I have to tell you what happened this morning, if you think I'm a little bit distracted, because we had a bit of an event with our cockerel and with Zen, our dog. It was my fault, really, I think, because I didn't shut him away. I went down to have breakfast, and it didn't occur to me that Remy, one of our cockerels, was going to decide to go for a walk, which he did, and he basically walked into the jaws of the dog. So we've just been clearing up feathers. He's okay, but yeah, I'm a little bit distracted because I was I feel a bit guilty that I was a bit remiss. So sorry, Remy. You look a bit bald. You've lost a lot of feathers. Hopefully he'll be okay. Okay, so there's that one. And so this is different, isn't it, from the one above? Put big leaves here. Okay, maybe I'll drop a bit more dark green in there. The dark green, when it's mixed with the brown that's next to it on this palette, comes out really nice and dark. It does mix very well. Okay, so then we need just to put the back of the pot in a little bit. And then this one here, I think I'm going to have a go at doing that with an acrylic pen in a light green colour. And I'm going to see how that works. I'm going to try to do something a bit different. Because the acrylic is good because it goes over the top of paint. So you've got it's like gouache. So I need a darker green as well. I hope there's one. No, that's not darker. Let's try this one. Yeah. And then probably we want some white. And then I can use my brush for the really dark green bits, because obviously okay, so that's that. And then finally, what should we do here on this one? I think probably another one a bit like that. So let's go for the yellow. And we're going to do it really tall. Something like that, and then we'll do some lines over the top of it when it's dry. And we want the back. Okay, and then we just need a narrow kind of shelf line something for it to be standing on up here. Okay. You never know how these things are going to turn out. But what I need to do right now is to put the hairdryer on it. And just rub out some of the pencil lines that I had up the top there. They won't all go because some of them are underneath. Some of them are underneath the paint. So I'll just do that and find my brush to brush away the bits. I think the neighbours have just arrived. We've got some people next door who are doing some building. The dogs always get excited. Right, so I'm not finished yet. So what I've basically got here is an illustration of two different ways of doing the pots. These ones here I'm going to finish off with probably some acrylic markers on top to give some interesting effects along the lines of this one here. And this one at the top is much more wet in wet because I let it all blend and mix and mingle a bit more. So that doesn't need much because they're kind of nice the way they are. So it's two different styles, basically. And then, so you've got lots of different ways that you could carry on here. We could, for example, this plant here could have some decoration on. I'm making this up. I don't have a plant like this, but it could easily have sort of spots on the leaves like this. So you're just using a brush, putting in little decorative marks, keeping them sort of, a little bit rough and loose. And then on this side too. So it just gives it a little bit, I wouldn't say it was realistic, but you can tell that it's meant to be a plant, can't you? Okay, and then we can finish off the pot with a little bit more shadow underneath the rim and a bit more shadow inside. Something like that. Soften that edge if you want. Doesn't have to. This one, what can we do with this one? I think it needs a bit more contrast, a bit more dark lines. So we can put some little, I think I might come out here a bit. And he also needs a bit more dark on the side. I'm sort of thinking do you think it might benefit from a little bit of floral, or should we keep that one I think we might keep that one up. But what I might do then is, because I'm getting a bit fidgety with the brush, so if you feel you want to do something, use a water brush. If you feel you're not able to control the brush properly to do your little leaves. It's better. Just make it a bit bigger. I think it needed to just be a bit bigger. Okay, and then maybe just a little bit of pot at the back. Doesn't need to be much. Okay, and then this one here, We need some really dark green. And I'm going to do some vertical lines like this. And then that one at the back, that needs lines too, but we'll use. And perhaps we'll pop one in here. Such a lot of fun, actually, just making it up as you go along. You feel a bit like you're in the Garden of Eden and you're just designing all the plants. So there's that. And then we're going to go to another, add a bit of orange to that green there, and then you can really darken down these stems a little bit. I think the important thing, what I want to try to convey, is that don't think that you can get to the end before you start. You're going to have something that sits here looking like your grandchild could have done it better than you. And then if you give yourself the time, which I usually don't, because I'm usually in a bit of a hurry to get this done, because I always leave everything to the last minute, apparently. I think it must be catching. I've caught it from my daughter. But anyway, so you do the undercoat, basically, and you think, oh, I don't know. What have I done? It's no good. But then you just carry on, you know? And you enjoy the bit where you get to embellish. And you see the whole thing kind of taking shape in front of you, which is the whole point. It's just like making a cake. You don't start with the finished cake, do you? You start with a mess in your mixer or in your bowl, and it turns into something fantastic. Hopefully. Let's put a little bit of a rim around the edge there. Make that a tiny bit darker. Okay. So that top row now is pretty much done, I think. So we go down to the next level. And, okay, so we've got these reddish flowers that probably need a bit more interest. Hasn't got any leaves, has it? That one. So it's a bit of a problem. So how are we going to do that? Perhaps it needs some nice bright green leaves, perhaps. So this is another one of my brush pens. They are very readily available, these types of things, or you can just use a brush. Or you can use one of those, a water brush that's empty, and you just, dip it in paint. But I think, actually, this is a technique that I have just invented, using a pre-filled water brush and dipping it in water and also picking up paint. It seems to be working, so you can then, just switch to darker green and add some dark lights. low lights, that's what they call them. That'll do. And then the pot needs to have some interest added to it. This one is purple. So we'll come down on the outside edge there and then just wet your brush, clean your brush off a little bit and smooth that out. And let's put some compost inside a little bit. This one needs a light line around the back because that's gone a bit shapeless. So we'll just do that. Okay, so now here, this one here, I think what I want to do is do some lines on there using a, let's see if this will work. I wonder if that will work. I want to put a centre vein down in a lighter colour. So unless you've got gouache, you can't do that with watercolour. You can't go lighter over dark with watercolour. You can only do it with gouache or acrylic. So that's why these acrylic pens are quite good like that. Make some of it a little bit darker too. If we just go to our dark green, mixed with some brown to give us a more realistic green. And then we can just put some dark in the middle there. You know how it is when you zone things out? I am vaguely aware that there are dogs barking, but I'm not really paying any attention. So you can shut up, dogs, because I'm not paying any attention. Concentrating. Okie dokie. Now I'm going to run a risk here, take some dark blue, and I'm going to hope that if I put a little bit of dark blue here, that will actually improve things rather than make them worse. Well, I don't know. So we'll leave that like that. And then we've got this one here, needs to have a bit more dark here underneath the rim. And let me see. I can put a vertical line up these ones. Like that. And I could probably take some white . Give them some white spots. You can also use this to hide things or to make things slightly tidier. You can go over a line that is, you know, like that. You can go like that, you see, tidy it up a bit. Some people use a computer to do that, but you don't have to. Could make that a better shape, slightly better shape. Like that, see? It's clever, isn't it? Yeah. You don't have to have a computer for everything. I'm going to put a few dots on here. I'm really worried about artificial intelligence. But I'm not going to talk about that because you don't want to hear about my worries. I don't think it's going to affect our channel, but I don't like the way it's affecting everything around us. Anyway, so I think I'm going to call that a day. Let me see, how long is this video? Oh yes, quite long enough. So there we are. There are 2 rows of pot plants for you. And I enjoyed doing that. That was really a lot of fun. Let's hope that nothing terrible has happened outside. Just to recap, before you go, put a comment in the description below if you want to be in with a chance of winning your set of Viviva watercolours, and why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Anything free is good, isn't it? And the second prize is a free copy of our reverse colouring book. I'm just taking it out of its cover because you don't want to be blinded by the flashing lights. And this is it. And that's the second prize. And also this is available right from now to download from our website to purchase as of this evening when this video goes up. And if you do purchase it, you get a coupon to get a free colouring book from us as well. So there's a sort of double whammy going on there. What else did I want to say? I think that's all that I need to say at the moment. I think I've probably bored you rigid. And I'll let you go now and have fun. And oh yes, I will put a sketch of this up on the website too, if you're interested in, you know, following my design a little bit. And so that'll be there later on today too, hopefully. So I'll let you go and have fun and enjoy the sunshine. It's summer. Bye for now, everybody. Bye-bye.